Come on into Subway for the featured $5 footlong of December, the Western Egg and Cheese. Warm up with eggs, Black Forest ham, and melty cheese, available all day long. This December only, it joins our many everyday $5 footlongs. Subway, eat fresh.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The B.S. Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report, a rainy Monday here in Southern California. I don't know why it's raining, because there's an excellent chance that the Clippers are about to get Chris Paul. I am on Chris Paul watch here at the mansion, waiting to see if they're going to give up too much. I'm sure they are. We're taping this at a little bit before 10 o'clock Pacific Coast time. No word on the trade yet. On the Subway Fresh Take Hotline right now. Back from Dallas, where he witnessed last night's traumatic loss in person. Cousin Sal, how are you?
I gotta say, I never thought it seems impossible, but these heartbreaking losses are a lot worse in person. Like, a lot worse. Like, I mean, you got such a long walk back to the rental car, and you don't have your kids around you to keep things in perspective. And yeah, I hated it. I just sat slumped in my seat for 20 minutes and just stared at nothing. You just become numb.
Any regrets bringing Brad, our Giants fan friend, with you for this game? I'm sure he wasn't as disconsolate as you were.
No, he didn't care. He's a Giants fan. He had a great day. Before the night game, we went to Bobby Valentine. You'll happen to know this has a sports bar in the Arlington area. Wanted to be close to the to the stadium, so we went. And this could have been a conversation that the manager of the restaurant had with the bartender. Hey, why are our Christmas lights out on the tree? Oh, because that guy slumped over in his plate of ribs sleeping, had to charge his phone.
Brad unplugged the Christmas tree to charge his phone?
Yeah,
wow.
That's the tip of the iceberg. That video and stuff will be presented some other time.
Are you gonna? If you want to put that on the Grantland YouTube channel, we'd be happy to have it.
Oh, really?
Just tell you that much. Oh yeah, we'd be happy to have it. We'd gratefully take it.
All right, I'll do it.
That's great.
And then it just got worse from that. I mean, you just end up like the exact scenario just about from last week takes place at home in a must-win. But after blowing a 12-point lead, like I felt like it was like the Gilligan's Island movie, where I don't know if anyone ever saw that, but they end up back on the island after being free because they fell asleep on the boat or some crap. But I was going through it all over again, and we just suck. We do. We have 8 starters on defense who never ever make a big play. Our coach doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm screaming at them, and this is the Madden thing again. Like, when they get first and goal at the 1, you have to start calling timeouts to Giants, right? If you're the Cowboys, and they're just not doing it, and he let 10 seconds run out. I think he would have let the whole thing run out, but someone must have taken him by the throat. And, it's just
you didn't see though, because you were there. Yeah. As those 10 seconds were rolling off, NBC cut to the owner's box where Jerry Jones and his son were screaming in horror that they weren't calling a timeout. It was pretty funny.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. And I'm sort of sick of blaming the coaches. Like, the personnel is just bad. Look at Wade Phillips. He goes to Houston and with doing more with less there on defense. But I just think once you come across a stat like, I think Jerry Jones could bring Jason Garrett in and say, hey, listen, we came across a stat. From 1960 to 2010, the Cowboys franchise only blew 2 12-point or more leads in the fourth quarter. This year we've blown 3. And we like you. Believe me, we do. But we got to let you go. That's just too insane of a stat. We can't keep you around.
No blame at all for you if Tony Romo just completes that 35 pass to the wide open, I think it was Miles Austin.
Yeah.
Wide open by 5 yards. Just has to lay it up there for him. He scores a touchdown and you win the game, and you're all happy right now.
Well, I like the play. I'll say this. I do like the play.
Yeah.
And I thought we were screwed on 2nd and 5 because then they know we're running, and then now advantage Giants 3rd and 5. But now they're saying like Austin lost it in the lights. He's saying that, and he like slowed up a little. But it does seem like Eli Manning and some of these guys know how to just lay that up, underthrow it by 6 yards, and get either a call or a completion there.
Yeah. Eli was really good. Where did that rank among the things that hurt last night about the fact that Eli has just become a primetime clutch guy who pulls wins out of his butt?
I know. I hate it. I really do.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
It's and I turned to our friend Alec when we're up 14. I'm sorry, we're up 12 with 5 minutes left. I said, you know what, this might be our worst collapse. And he said, this is after we just scored. He's like, oh no, we're not losing this. I'm like, you watch Eli Manning go up and down the field. And, and he did. He's damn good, and he's doing it all himself too with that team because their secondary is just as bad as ours, and they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, I don't know about that, but it did seem like that was the whole season on the line for the Giants, which is I picked them. It looked like a terrible pick, but I was just thinking like if they're ever going to play as hard as they could during a season, yesterday's going to be the day. JPP was pretty impressive too.
Yeah,
for the Giants.
He's good. He totally outplayed DeMarcus Ware, and I tell you, it looked like that field goal was going to be good, that second one, and they just didn't block. What do you think about this? And maybe it's just sour grapes because my team has fallen victim to it twice, once at the hands of my own coach, but this icing the kicker, it's such a pussy move for the NFL, isn't it? I don't know, but first of all, it seems like if you have the ball, it should be like basketball. You can only call timeout if you have the ball. Can you imagine like John Stockton is just about to shoot a free throw, and they're like, oh, no, he called it a millisecond before he released it. No, he's going to have to shoot that again after this commercial break.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know how to fix it though for you because you can't just remove the defense's ability to call a timeout. Maybe they should have some sort of rule like if it's the last 10 seconds and it's clearly a game-winning or game-tying field goal, you have to tell the umpire or the referee before, well before the timeout's called that you're calling it or something.
Yeah, because they're getting really close. Because I'm in the stadium. I'm looking across the sideline. I'm looking at Coughlin, and the play clock's down to 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the play now, and they're like, what? They're really, really close. There's going to be a problem at some point.
Well, at least DeMarco Murray didn't fracture his ankle.
What a disaster. Just a disaster. I wish they'd stayed on and locked out this team. This is a hellish season, really, to root as a Cowboys fan. I don't like any of it.
I guess the other big moments yesterday, Tebow, once again. I don't know how he keeps doing it, Sal. Tebow.
I don't... It's getting sick. I hear his name, and it's like when it's a terrible thing to say, but when I first heard like Bin Laden's name, I had cringe. I think because now I have to talk to you about it for like 20 minutes the next day. But is it possible that something else happened at the same time Tebow came on? Because he has about as much to do with these wins as, let's say, if the new groundskeeper was hired, or the team president is banging a new secretary. Like it's just. What is he like? 26 out of 32 quarterbacks would win all, or not some, but all of these games, and by 2 touchdowns. He's just so bad. He's doing it in dramatic fashion. I'm sorry.
Come on.
3 for 18 in the first half.
There's a method to his madness, and the method is wait till I'm down 10 so I can get hot against the prevent, and then I'm going to make some weird stuff happen. That's what he does.
He's getting way too much credit for this. Tyler Palko scored 10 against the Bears 2 weeks ago. I don't hear anyone throwing a party for him. And Rex Grossman scored 19 against the Jets, just like Tebow did, more than Tebow did. No magic talk there. But
I think there was signs of slippage yesterday. He didn't win the coin toss, which I thought was shocking. Tebow usually controls the heads versus tails, but.
Right.
When he made Marion Barber run out of bounds, though, I thought that was one of his best plays.
Right, and he and God got together, made Barber fumble, and
made
run
the
out
fumble.
Of bounds.
Yep.
But honestly, though, let's just dissect that. We're not even talking about this if Barber stays in bounds and they get it with 17 seconds left at most from their 18.
Well, maybe wouldn't you say that the other team now has become freaked out by Tebow? They can't. They know like they have a lead with 3 minutes left, but they're almost like the babysitter in the horror movie that knows the guy's still in the house, even though the cops claim they took him away. The babysitter's just sitting there in the kitchen going, "Nah, something's wrong about this. I know how these movies end," and that's how the other teams are playing. I would argue that Tebow's responsible.
I know, but then why not open it up a little? I know Caleb Haney, you're not maybe as comfortable as you would be with anyone else opening it up, but if you know you just need 17 points to have 17 going into the fourth quarter to win the game, why not open it up? Get it going a little bit. Makes me sick.
I would argue that, look, Tebow aside, all jokes aside, that was maybe the biggest garbage win of all time yesterday. Yeah. Because there's just no way they should have won. Like, first of all,
many things had to go wrong. Yeah.
Well, the touchdown with 2:08 left. If you're the Bears, like at that point, just put all 7 guys in the end zone, because if they score after the 2-minute warning, it's not going to matter. You get the onside kick, you kneel 3 times. The only thing that can't happen is giving up a touchdown on the other side of the 2-minute warning, which is somehow they left the guy wide open in the end zone.
Right.
And then, Barber running out of bounds. You had Barber in Dallas for how many years? Not the brightest bulb in the tree as a football player.
No, he's all about running hard, and I don't know if he sees laterally what's around him and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so you could say like if you have Marion Barber in the game in a huge situation, maybe things aren't going to always turn out ideally for you. If you have Caleb Haney as your quarterback, maybe things aren't going to. There were reasons the Bears lost.
What if you have any other kicker who misses these 50-yarders like 10 or 12 a Sunday?
I know.
This guy's nailing on Prater from 50. Good from 75.
Well, that's what we were saying. We were watching it as it went into when they got the ball back when it was 10-7, saying that they really only had to get to midfield. Mm-hmm. Like they needed 1 first down, and Prater was 67 yards was in his range, and because of the altitude and stuff. But
no icing there. Did the Bears ice him? I can't even remember.
Well, no, they did not.
Did they not have timeouts, or
no? They just didn't. They chose not to. Lovie Smith's an honorable guy. I do think we learned one thing from that Broncos game, though. Like, a really good defense is just going to swallow Denver up. And if the Bears had been able to go up 14-0 or 17-0, then it's over.
Oh,
because, Chicago, they just didn't run on them that whole game. And eventually Denver adjusted, but they're so afraid to just put him in the shotgun and let him try to make plays. Mm-hmm. So, I think next week.
Like, look at John Elway's got a scowl on his face, and because he knows the best case scenario here is you get a 4 seed. Denver, I'm saying you because you're now a Broncos fan, but the Broncos get a 4 seed.
That.
They're home against the Ravens or the Steelers, let's say, as a 5 seed. That's going to be a 37-3 game.
Well, if they play the Ravens, I don't think they can score more than 10 points without like a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown or something. Pittsburgh, they might be able to do a little bit something against. The Pats this week, after watching the Redskins go up and down the field against the Patriots, I think Denver is going to be in that game. Let's do the lines because you don't have a lot of time.
Let's do it. Here we go. Jacksonville at Atlanta Thursday night.
Yep, Jacksonville looked confident yesterday, or Tampa Bay needs to fire their coach, one or the other.
Tampa Bay got off to a lead, and then Jacksonville just drilled them.
Yeah. This is a Thursday nighter. The Falcons, who continue to squeak out wins against terrible teams and not impress anybody and are somehow going to be the number 5 seed.
Yep.
I have them giving – are they home or in Jacksonville?
Atlanta's home.
Oh, man. I have them giving 9.5.
Oh, all right. I'm going to get this. I said 10, and it's actually 11, and that's 3-team teaser game number 1.
That's too high.
It's pretty high. Jacksonville's so erratic. They've got squashed a few times in the last month.
Mojo was good yesterday.
Yeah, that's an underrated story, his career day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's going to be a rough one. All right, well, Saturday, Dallas at Tampa Bay. I don't even care anymore. Go. The team that's lost 7 in a row.
It's the Saturday game, as you and I have always joked. It's the get husbands and wives, create some domestic conflict Saturday night game.
Yeah, I'm all for calling it a get out of an ugly sweater Christmas party game.
All right.
5:20 Saturday.
I have you. I have your Cowboys giving 7.5 in this game. That might be low.
I get this one too. It's 6.5. I said 6. 6.5.
That's too low.
I don't know.
Tampa's horrible.
Watch your ex-boyfriend Josh Freeman light him up a little bit. That secondary is abysmal. All right, Sunday. I can't talk about them anymore. Carolina at Houston.
Houston had the game of the day yesterday. TJ Yates is not bad. He's really not.
No.
I don't think there's a it's definitely a drop-off from Schaub to Yates, but it's not disastrous. Like, it's not like Cutler to Caleb Payne or anything.
And it's
like
not
that.
Liner to Yates might not be a drop-off.
No, I think Yates is actually might be better than Liner.
Yeah. He's okay.
I got some email yesterday from somebody trying to compare TJ Yates in 2011 to Tom Brady in 2001.
Wow.
This is a major. Settle down. No, please. No Tom Brady 2001 comparisons yet.
Yeah, I watched him in college, Carolina. He wasn't that good. I don't know how he's. I mean, this is a really nice setup for him in Houston.
He does have a lot of poise, and he's good with moving around the pocket and kind of buying himself an extra second, things like that. He's relatively accurate.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have Texans 7.5 over the Panthers.
You're going to get that. I said 9. I went a little high there, and it's 6.5. So.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for the Texans to score without Andre Johnson.
I guess so, and you never know.
Everything is short.
God, that team, that should be the team that's tanking. Why don't they quit on that coach? All these teams should take note.
Carolina?
No, Houston. They have every reason. All their stars were out. Mario Williams, defense. Andre Johnson sits half the year, doesn't play. Like the quarterbacks, and they still play for their coach.
I had the Bengals in the Super Contest, and I got scared off at the last second, not just because of TJ Yates, because you read these articles about the Texans, and it seems like they really believe. It reminds me a little of Belichick in that 0-1 to 0-4 stretch when guys would get hurt and nobody cared because it was like it's all about the 53 guys. Like, it does seem like they're buying into that stuff.
Yeah.
So
now, all those teams have 3 wins, right? So it's hard to tell who's going to have a 1 or 2 or 3 seed.
3 losses, yeah.
3 losses, sorry. Yeah.
Pittsburgh's in the driver's seat because Pittsburgh beat the Patriots.
Okay.
So Patriots need Pittsburgh to lose, and then I don't know how it works out the tiebreaker after that, but the 2 versus the 3 is pretty interesting because if the Pats got the 3 and had to go to Houston in round 2, I wouldn't be crazy about that.
You'd rather go to Houston than Pittsburgh or Baltimore, though, for sure, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, those would be the one seed, right? I'm confused now.
They're probably playing Houston in round 2, one way or the other. Yeah. I think Pittsburgh's going to get it. I don't think Pittsburgh loses again.
Tennessee at Indianapolis. The whole state.
Tennessee played well yesterday. They were in that game.
That Locker,
they're right there.
Be better than that. That's a dumb. Between Locker and Webb at the 1-2 yard line there. Those could have been nice wins.
Yeah, just throw the ball. Make sure you have the ball in the end zone somehow, so at least make a play. But man, I had trouble with this Titans Colts line. I have Titans by 7.5. I don't feel good about it.
You did better than I did. I said 8, and it's 6.5. So I don't expect Indy to win that game. But these Titans they're impossible to figure out. They played perfectly. 3+ quarters kept Saints offense in check, and with Chris Johnson doing nothing, and then all of a sudden they just fall apart at home.
Yeah, we had the Lions should have covered and didn't by a point, and I feel like the Titans, even though they didn't cover, they lost by 5. They're getting 3.5. I felt like that was a cover, like that was a field goal game.
I did too.
They should have covered that.
Yeah, Green Bay at Kansas City.
Ooh, fired coach.
Yep.
Todd Haley, thanks for coming. Romeo Crennel, last 3 games.
Well, they just say he's relieved of his coaching duties. It doesn't mean he can't hang out on the sideline. Just do whatever he wants.
I forgot. Yeah, he can still go. I really almost had this at 14. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to say 14.
All right. You're going to get it by a landslide. I said 19. Is Kansas City going to – this is stupid. They're going to get fired up at home?
No, they're not, but it's just a road favorite.
Out with Aaron Rodgers?
What is it? What's the line?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 13.5. I thought I said.
Oh, I had 13.5 and I changed it to 14. All right.
Well, you still get it.
That'll be 14, I think. That's a lot for somebody to give up on the road.
Who cares? They get 14 in 6 minutes. They score 14.
Hey,
now,
just quick.
Grant's running. Come on.
Just quickly, I'd like to thank Jermichael Finley for getting shut out yesterday during a game when his team scored 46 points and being one of the contributors to my fantasy football loss yesterday. Thanks, Jermichael.
Yeah, that's rough. You had I was following you even through my misery in Texas Stadium there. You had Hakeem Nicks, and he had Austin and Romo, and you were looking all right for a while.
Yeah, and then Romo decided to start throwing long 50-yard passes.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have won anyway. I got 6 points out of Michael Turner and 0 points out of Jermichael Finley.
Yeah, the Michaels killed you, and the Jermichaels. Seattle at Chicago.
Seattle at Chicago. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think it's Bears by 3.
You're going to get it. I went high here. I said 6.5. It's 4.5.
Vegas zone.
Yeah, I guess you can't. If you're Caleb Haney, you can't give too many.
We had an argument yesterday about how it's possible that Caleb Haney is the best possible guy they can start in these games.
Yeah.
There's got to be like 100 quarterbacks who watch these games on TV and they're just going crazy.
Yeah.
Who aren't in the league. Just like, really? Really? They just got to be yelling that at the TV for 3 hours.
Couldn't Devin Hester do a better job at this point? Like, that's all you want to see is that guy touch the ball, right? If you're the Bears, and just give him a shot. Let him take some snaps and run with it.
I don't know. The funny thing is they're still in the playoff hunt.
Yep.
Because we really could see 8-8 or 9-7 as a wild card here.
Yeah, definitely. But I think you're talking about Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I know one.
Both of these teams. This is a loser leaves town playoff game, basically.
I can't believe that. Wow. All right, Miami at Buffalo.
It finally ended for Miami yesterday. They were playing well pretty early, and then Jake Long got hurt, and the wheels just came off. They had some bad luck. Jake Long goes out. All of a sudden, Matt Moore isn't protected anymore. Relatively fluky. I don't know why Philly played hard in that game.
But it was
what was Philly playing for?
Sucker bet. It was sort of a sucker bet, right?
Totally.
I mean, when we bet games, you're probably the same way. I look at a line. Most of them I have to think about for about 10, 15 seconds. I saw Miami -3 over Philly. No way I'm taking Philly that game, right? It just seemed, that was it.
It seemed like one of those games, though. Like, Miami's up 7-0. Philly's on, like, their own 5. Vic gets sacked on, like, the 2-yard line on 3rd and 18.
Right.
And they call it a face mask.
Yeah.
And if they don't call that, they're punting from their own end zone. They're down 7. Miami has all the momentum. It was like it totally changed the game.
It was a weird game. Yeah, McCoy had like 30 yards, right? It was a strange game for Philly to win.
It flipped, but as soon as it flipped, you knew it was over. Like, as soon as Philly was up 10-7, the game was over. But there was a time there when it seemed like Miami was going to beat them like 30-0.
Yeah, and Matt Moore, I don't know if they expect this Miami at Buffalo. I don't know if Matt Moore is going to be in, but they do have a line for it.
Yeah, I had because of the Matt Moore thing, I have Dolphins by 1.5.
Wow. You got that exactly. I said Buffalo by 2.
Buffalo's terrible.
So they're just considered...
They're awful.
Junk. I thought that was an even
terrible.
matchup. Yeah.
Nah, Buffalo stinks.
All right. I feel like I haven't been watching, but I guess. All right, New Orleans at Minnesota. I nailed this one exactly.
I have Saints by 10, and I like Minnesota.
Oh, you went too high. Of course you like Minnesota getting 10. It's only 7.5, though.
Oh, well, then that's probably why. Joe Webb, one of those guys you watch and you just go, wow, that guy should play.
Yeah.
That's one of the best 30 quarterbacks in the league.
I knew they'd come back. So you thought the Lions should have covered. I said, he's going to bring them back. They're and by the way, we're betting against the Lions in the first round of the playoffs. We have to do it.
Well, here's the thing. I had Stafford in fantasy and was monitoring that game, and he was on pace to throw for like 400 yards, and he hit his hand at some point, like early in the third quarter, and I think he might have had like 3 fantasy points in the second half. Yeah, I think he got hurt. I think he's playing hurt.
They don't run the ball either. What are they going to do? So I don't like that team going forward, but I think they do grab a 6 seed.
No, they can't protect the lead at all when they have it. But still, like Calvin Johnson I think he had like 2 catches for 20 yards or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cincinnati at St. Louis.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Cincinnati. I'm going to say Bengals by 6.5.
All right, I said 5.5, and it's 3.5. That's
What?
very low for a cruddy Rams team.
Spagnuolo's probably the next guy to get poop canned, right?
Yeah, I would think so. This would be a good time to go too. But they think
Right now?
Cincinnati quit. I mean, how many have they lost in a row now? More than 3?
That was a devastating loss for them yesterday. They're still not totally out of it though, because I think that was their 6th loss, right? They're 7-6.
Yeah, Jets have a tough schedule ahead. So
yeah, so they're not they'll play hard in that game.
Washington at the New York Giants.
Yeah, you almost missed a full-scale meltdown by me yesterday.
Why?
Well, Jabbar Gaffney and Dante Stallworth just running amok against the Patriots.
Yeah.
He was picking on Devin McCourty for the entire game. He's supposedly our best cornerback. Dante Stallworth has an irrelevant moment, I don't know, in 5 years, and is somehow all he can do is run a straight line, and somehow he's wreaking havoc. That was a tough one. People 1,000 years.
When Fletcher got that bull crap roughing the quarterback?
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. But Pats made up for it by refusing to cover, even though they were inside the 10 twice there with a 7-point lead. Somehow didn't get any points out of it.
Went to overtime.
I have the Giants favored by 6.5 against this Redskins team.
You're gonna get it. I said 8, and it's 7. So you're up 6-4.
How many times have we been here with Eli and the Giants, where coming off an awesome win, kind of a relatively big favorite at home, they'll take care of business here, and then next week they have this, and everybody forgets about the game that's right there, and then all of a sudden, Santana Moss is running for an 80-yard touchdown, and the Giants fans, it's all quiet. Like, you can kind of see this one coming.
They usually kill them, though, at home. I know what you're saying, but they lost to them already this year, so I'm not taking them, but I could see it.
I'm not putting them in a tease, I can tell you that much.
All right, we won't. Don't worry, we already have 2. We're going to get another one. Detroit at Oakland. Not it, by the way.
Boy, 2 teams I do not like. I have the Raiders by 2. How about that?
I said Raiders by 1. They're going Lions by 1.
That makes sense. Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised by anything there. Wow.
I don't know what to make. I mean, is Oakland still trying to win the division? I know that anyone against the Packers is going to look bad, but
you can't play worse than they did the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I guess they should not be favored. I'm okay with that. The Lions stink.
Not much to like about that team.
I don't like that Lions team at all, though. As you said, they literally cannot run the ball. Like, they can't even run for 2 yards.
No, and they'll be slowed down on the grass. I like Oakland. I just don't want to bet them. Cleveland at Arizona.
Another Arizona home game, right?
Yep.
Arizona is, I'm going to continue to say it. They're not bad. They're not a bad team, and at home they're a good team.
They're top 3 team in the NFC right now. I don't know where it came from.
They can do stuff. I'm going to give them a little respect here. I'm going to say Cardinals by 7.5.
And it doesn't even matter who their quarterback is. I said 7, and it's 6.5. So I steal that one. 6-6 going into the last 4 games. All right.
I don't mind John Skelton. I'm going to go on the record.
No, he's figured out a way to be decent.
Yeah, he's competent. He's not. He wouldn't. You're not going to tell your grandkids about him, but he's competent.
No. New England at Denver. Not telling the grandkids about Tebow either.
I'm putting this right in the Vegas zone. Pats by 4.5.
All right. I said 5.5, and it's 6.
Whoa!
Yeah. Let me ask you this. How many points will you feel comfortable about? How many do the Pats need to have going into the fourth quarter to win this game?
I just think they're going to be able to move the ball against the Pats the whole game.
Who is?
The Broncos. I think that this is a good matchup for them. You didn't see the game yesterday, obviously. The Redskins were going up and down the field.
I know. Yeah. Oh, against the Patriots, yeah. But all right. Well, I know what you're saying. If Tebow can't figure out the Pats defense, he's effing with us.
Well, it's just really I think the Patriots secondary is as bad as Minnesota's secondary. and Tebow looked great against Minnesota secondary. I'm not kidding, Sal.
Yeah.
I think Julian Edelman's our best defensive back.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. We were joking yesterday watching the game about Edelman Island. You don't want to send anyone on Edelman Island. He'll shut you down. He's our lockdown corner.
I like that.
He's at third down, like covering the guys that the other team's going for and shutting him down.
Yeah, he's good. It really, none of it seems to matter as long as you have Gronkowski. Like, it's not fair that you guys have that guy. It really isn't.
He is. I never thought I'd say this, but he's past Ben Coates, I think, as the best pass tight end ever.
Brady forces it into him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like, if he hits him 1 out of 3 times, it's fine. I mean, it reminds me of like the adult in the Thanksgiving game, Thanksgiving Day football game, plays and he's just dragging his kids around while he's holding the ball.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
Well, I think he has 16 touchdowns, 17.
Is it that many? He had 13 plus 2 and 1 rushing. I know.
He's got 16 total touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty insane.
And yet you're going to be rooting for Tim Tebow this week. Makes me sick.
I can tell you that not only am I wholeheartedly rooting for the Pats, but it's going to be interesting to experience this Tebow thing from the other side.
Yeah.
And have the 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go and just be crapping.
Good. I hope it drives you crazy. I hope it does.
Yeah.
But you know what? You did leave me a message. I should probably.
I did?
This way. Yeah, you did.
You were in Dallas. I didn't even think I called you.
You always seem to find me. But here it is. Let me just play it. Cousin Sal, just witnessed another comeback victory by my boyfriend, Tim Twinkletoes, Taffy Thighs, Thurston Howell III, Tebow. I got to tell you, I'm happier than a pig in pea soup, or however that goes. And right now, I can knock down skyscrapers with my T-boner. Anyway, I'm Christmas shopping for Tim right now. And what do you get for the guy who prays for everything? I've been to Ross Dress for Less and Filene's Basement, and now I'm at Prosthetics R Us. And, oh, look at this. Look at this. A brand new prosthetic left arm. Guaranteed, let me read the directions. Guaranteed to move in a forward motion. Good for starting a lawnmower, hailing a cab, and, oh, wow, throwing a football in a way that another human being can catch the pass. Now, this is great. Now, when he pulls games out of his ass, he could do it using a brand new limb. Oh, he's going to love this. And you know what? I'm going to put lipstick on and kiss the wrapping paper, and this is going to be so, oh, wait. Uh-oh. Here comes an elephant. It's going to kill me. Help. I have 3 more episodes of Homeland to watch. Help.
Wow.
And then you died.
Every week I die in these phone calls now.
Yeah. It's the cleanest way to end these. I can't figure
I
it
guess.
out otherwise.
Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna hurt to root against Tebow next week, but your team is your team. So hopefully the Pats will be the one team that beats the crap out of them. And then you can go back to saving
You'll
games.
get the best of both worlds. They'll score 30. Yeah. Denver will have an off day defensively. The Pats will score 30, and then you can't even blame Tebow. So,
again, this is what we discussed last week. Football is a weird sport. Once these teams start thinking they can pull crazy games out of their butt, you almost can't predict what's going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
And Houston seems to be at that point. And I think Denver is too. Those are the 2 teams now that just seem to have a crazy amount of irrational confidence.
Yep. All right. Speaking about irrational confidence, Jets at Philly.
Oh, God.
I picked this exactly. You're going to get it too, I think.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this feels like a clear-cut Eagles by 3.
Yep, that's what it was. We tie that. And
who do you like in that game, by the way?
I feel like the Jets could sort of make some noise now in the playoffs. I think they play Philly and then they play the Giants. I don't know. You see them beat the Chiefs. They're pretty good when they turn it on. And Sanchez is heating up even against bad teams, but he's starting to figure it out. What do you think?
I don't think the Eagles are good. I could see them rolling over in that Jets game.
Yeah.
Jets, we see this every year. There's 2 teams that we count out like on Thanksgiving that get hot in December, and then all of a sudden we're looking at each other in round 1 going, hell, that team's actually good. And I don't know if it's going to be the Jets, but it might be.
Yeah, Sean Green is running wild now.
Yeah. 2 guys, Sean Green and Brandon Jacobs, are both guys that 3 weeks ago looked like they were on their way out of the league, and now all of a sudden both of them are rejuvenated.
Yep.
Brandon Jacobs looked good in that game yesterday. I cut him from my fantasy team 2 weeks ago. That's how bad he was.
No, you should have just had him for this Cowboys game, and then he'll go back to being garbage.
Yeah.
Baltimore at San Diego Sunday night. Oh, all this Tebow celebrating, by the way, and we're completely done with our San Diego to win the division bet. I think we would have had a shot.
That's all right. We're going to win on the Tennessee won't make the playoffs bet.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true. I forgot that. Yeah.
I'm still not buying the Chargers. I'm going to say Ravens by 3.
All right, I said by 2, and it's by 1.5. Did I win this week? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 7. I did. I don't even need the Monday night
Big
game.
win.
It's the first time in a month. And,
congrats, buddy.
Thanks, pal. Something. Fine.
I don't agree. I just want to say I don't agree with that line at all.
You think it should be higher? Is that what you said?
I think the Ravens are 3 points better than the Chargers. I will wager on them if that line stays where it is.
Wow. All right.
You're not selling me on the Chargers resurgence.
I don't think they're that great either, but this is the time when they usually step it up. But they might be done.
Okay.
Pittsburgh at San Francisco. Monday night. This is a big one. I think this line reflects if Roethlisberger's playing.
Yeah. I have the 49ers by 2.5.
I said 2.5 also. It's only 1.
Wow.
Interesting. It's a weird thing, the body, isn't it? Like Roethlisberger gets his leg rolled, like you thought it was going to snap off. No way he's coming back in the second half. He does. And then at the end of the game, they say, well, there's no way he's going to be ready for San Francisco in 10 days. Like, what? He just played with 3-step drops, and he lit him up. But
listen, if the 49ers, for us to think that team's legitimate at all, I think they need to win that Steelers game.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm starting to think I'm not afraid of them now in the playoffs. Going to San Francisco or playing them at home. Are they a 3 seed now or 2? I think, did they lose a 3 to New Orleans?
There's a chance now that the Saints can sneak by them. Here's the problem with the Niners. They have a couple problems. Around the goal line, it doesn't seem like they have anywhere to go. You would think it would be Vernon Davis, but it's not. And then their receivers don't really make big plays. Like, it's just these long drives of, they're 10-3 and New Orleans is 10-3. I don't know who wins.
10-3. They have 2 NFC losses. New Orleans is 3.
Yeah, so maybe they're okay. But if they lose this Pittsburgh game, they're in real trouble now.
Well, here's the problem. It's out of conference, but that would make up the game. Here's the problem with them, and I think I praised them for this. Like, I was like, oh, they get up 9-0 on you and you're done, this San Francisco. But it's too often that they should be scoring touchdowns and they're only field goals. Like, yeah, I guess that works against the Rams and name another Seattle or something. But I think eventually their defense gives up and they're in it at the end.
Yeah, so if they end up with a 3 seed, they're playing either Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, or Atlanta in round 1, hosting them.
Yeah.
And Dallas could definitely beat them.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
they already almost
we don't
did.
have to win the division. Yeah, well, we did.
The Bears, if Cutler somehow came back, I think could beat them. I don't think the Lions can beat them.
Lions or Falcons would probably have trouble. Yeah.
And I think the Falcons lose to them.
But what's weird is if they get the 2 seed and New Orleans gets the 3, I think New Orleans San Fran is a guaranteed round 2 game.
Yeah, and that's a game New Orleans could lose. They're a different team on grass.
I don't
Even
think that, though,
it.
if the Niners get the 3 seed.
Yeah. Niners going into New Orleans in round 2 is not a good situation for them.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
Pretty interesting. Last couple weeks. I hope your team remains involved. I think the DeMarco Murray injury is really going to hurt you, though.
Yeah, that sucks. I do look at it that way. Like, let's say we were to get lucky and get the 4th seed, win the division. Detroit comes to us. We beat them and pay them back for that miserable loss earlier. We're going to lose to the Packers by 60 points.
I have a dumb question. Are the Eagles officially eliminated?
Well, they have 8 losses, right? I think they have like 6 losses in the conference, which kills them.
Well,
yeah, that's right. They're 4-6 in the NFC, and they're 5-8.
But if there's a 3-way 8-8 tie, and Philly has a 3-1 record in the division already, and they win their last 2 division games, and they're 5-1 in the division, wouldn't they win the tiebreaker? I think they would. Please, why can't we cut this team's head off?
Oh, the division tie?
Yeah.
They're not going to win a wild card.
No, it'd have to be a 3-way 8-8 tie to win the division.
Huh. So Dallas would have to beat the Giants. Philly would have to beat Dallas.
Dallas and the Giants would only have to win one more game each, and then Philly would have to win all 3. And then I think the first tiebreaker is like after head-to-head is the division record. Are you serious? Can you imagine if Philly makes the playoffs? What a garbage! Oh my God!
They'll lose to the Jets this week. Don't even worry about it.
I hope so. All right, Cousin Sal, hang in there.
I'm Grantland.com. Thursday I'll have my blog out. I gave out some winners. Denver between 1 and 3 points, Bill. This is a secret. You just got to jump on it. Denver to win by 1 to 3 points is 9-2 odds. Take that every week. Don't listen to me. Eli to have the most passing yards. I won 8-1. I looked ahead. And tonight I say Stephen Hoshka over 7 points. That's a Seattle kicker. And on Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight, Simon Cowell, Anna Ferris, the Kooks. Later in the week, Josh Holloway, Molly Sims, Death Cab for Cutie, Kathy Griffin, Young Jeezy, Robbie Downer Jr., Lenny Kravitz. Something for everyone.
Stephen Hoshka?
Yeah, I think that's how you say his name. The kicker.
Okay. All right.
7 points. That's a win. They're going to blow him out.
Interesting pick. Cousin Sal, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Bill. Take care.
So I get to sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.